Jade woke up on day 4 with her lips still tingling and her brain absolutely refusing to believe that last night had actually happened. She'd kissed Willie multiple times, expensively, with tongue and everything. Her first kiss, and it had been with a fictional alien who'd materialized in her living room, and it had been absolutely perfect. She lay in bed, staring at a ceiling, trying to process the feelings coursing through her body. There was excitement, obviously, terror, definitely, and something else. Something warm and insistent that pulled low in her belly and made her think thoughts she'd previously only had in the privacy of her own imagination. She wanted more. The realization should have been terrifying, should have sent her spiraling into anxiety about inexperience and inadequacy, but instead, she just felt ready. Like her body had been waiting 20 years for this exact person, and now that he was here, everything inside her was screaming, yes, please, now. Which was both thrilling and absolutely mortifying. Jade rolled out of bed and caught sight of herself in the mirror. Her hair had achieved new levels of chaos overnight, forming what could only be described as a nest of red curls that defied all known laws of physics. Her lips were slightly swollen from kissing, her eyes were bright. She looked like someone who'd been thoroughly made out with. She looked happy. Get it together, she muttered to her reflection. You can't just jump in the moment you walk out there. That's not how this works. There's supposed to be romance and build-up and appropriate timing. Her reflection looked skeptical. Okay, fine. Technically, there's already been 3 days of build-up. But still, we should talk about this. Have a mature conversation about expectations and boundaries and where this is going. Her reflection continued to look skeptical. I'm gonna put on real clothes and act like a normal person who hasn't spent the entire night replaying kissing in her mind, Jade told herself firmly. She failed spectacularly at this goal by immediately putting on her nicest underwear. The matching set she'd bought 2 years ago on sale and never worn because who was going to see it? Well, now someone might see it. Someone might see everything. And while Jade's brain was trying to be sensible about pacing and appropriate progression, her body was very much on board with the idea of Willie seeing her in matching underwear. She pulled on jeans and a soft purple sweater over the nice underwear, brushed her teeth twice, attempted to do something with her hair before giving up, and finally emerged from her bedroom. Willie was in the kitchen making breakfast. Again, because of course he was. He'd somehow figured out pancakes, and the smell of them cooking made Jade's stomach growl loudly enough that Willie turned around with a smile. Good morning, he said, and his voice did things to her insides that should probably be illegal. Morning, Jade managed. You made pancakes. I watched a video. The internet is very educational. Willie flipped a pancake with surprising competence. I hope I did it correctly. I'm sure they're perfect. Everything you do is perfect. It's annoying. Willie laughed, and the sound made Jade want to climb him like a tree. This was going to be a problem. She couldn't spend the entire day being overwhelmed by how attractive he was. That wasn't sustainable. How did you sleep? Willie asked, plating pancakes. Barely. You? Also barely. Willie met her eyes, and there was heat there that made Jade's breath catch. I was thinking about you. About last night. Yeah. Me too. A lot. Possibly too much. Jade accepted the plate of pancakes, which were indeed perfect, because of course they were. We should probably talk about that. Talk about kissing? Willie tilted his head. Or talk about what comes after kissing. Jade merely dropped her fork. You don't just say stuff like that. There are rules about this. What rules? I don't know. Dating rules, romance rules, The rules that say you're supposed to be coy and mysterious instead of just openly discussing sexual progression. Willie considered this while pouring syrup. That seems inefficient. If we both want the same thing, why would we not discuss it openly? Because it's terrifying, Jade suggested. Because I have no idea what I'm doing, and the thought of being naked in front of another person makes me want to hide under my bed forever. Willie set down the syrup and moved closer. Jade, look at me. She looked up, meeting those warm brown eyes that had become so familiar so quickly. I would never pressure you, Willie said seriously. If you wish to wait, we wait. If you wish to only kiss, we only kiss. But if you wish for more, he paused, and his voice dropped lower. If you wish for more, I very much wish to give you more. Jade's entire body flushed hot. Define more. Everything, Willie said simply. I wish to touch you everywhere, taste you everywhere, learn what makes you sigh and what makes you moan. I wish to be close to you in every possible way, but only if you wish this too. Jesus Christ, Jade breathed. You can't just say things like that while I'm holding pancakes. Should I have waited until after breakfast? You shouldn't say them at all. You're supposed to be the gentle, innocent alien, not the one who sounds like he walked out of my dirtiest fantasies. Willie smiled slowly. I have access to your memories, remember? I know some of your fantasies. They are very creative. Jade buried her face in her hands. Oh my god, this is mortifying. You've seen everything I've thought about? Not everything. Only memories that become relevant. But yes, I know that you have thought about me in this way many times, for many years. Willie gently pulled her hands away from her face. Why does this embarrass you? It is natural to have these thoughts. I am honored that you thought of me. You're honored that I've been having elaborate sexual fantasies about you since I was 16. You have been thinking of me since you were 16? Willie looked genuinely touched. That is very sweet. That's not the word I would use. Obsessive? Maybe. Concerning. Possibly requiring therapy. I think it is romantic, Willie said. You loved me before I was real. Now I am real, and I can love you back. Jade's heart stopped. Love? Willie paused, seeming to realize what he'd said. Perhaps that word is too large too soon. But I care for you deeply, Jade. More than I expected to care for anyone. What I feel when I look at you is very strong. If it is not love yet, it is moving in that direction. We've known each other for 4 days, Jade whispered. Yes. And in those 4 days, you have become the most important person in my world. Time is not always the measure of feeling. Sometimes the heart simply knows. Jade set down her plate of untouched pancakes with shaking hands. I want you. I want all of it. Everything you said. But I'm terrified because I don't know what I'm doing, and what if I'm bad at it? What if I can't figure out how things work, or I do something wrong, or you realize that I'm completely hopeless at this? Willie cupped her face gently. There is no wrong way to be together. No bad way. There is only learning each other, discovering what feels good, being honest about what we need. And I promise you, Jade, I will be patient. I will be gentle. I will make certain that you feel safe and cared for through all of it. How are you so good at this? Jade asked. How do you know exactly what to say? Because I care about your feelings more than anything else, Willie said. Because making you happy makes me happy. Because I have waited a long time to feel this kind of connection with someone. And now that I have it, I wish to honor it. Jade made a decision. A terrifying, thrilling, absolutely insane decision that her brain protested, but her heart and body enthusiastically endorsed. Okay, she said. Yes, I want this. Today, now, soon, whenever you want. I want you. Willie's eyes darkened. You are certain? I'm terrified, but yes, I'm certain. I've been waiting my whole life for someone who makes me feel the way you do. Someone who's kind and patient and looks at me like I'm actually worth something. I don't want to wait anymore. Willie leaned in and kissed her, soft and sweet, but with an undercurrent of heat that made Jade's toes curl. Then we will not wait, he murmured against her lips, but first we will eat breakfast. Because you need energy, and because anticipation makes everything sweeter. I hate that you're right about that, Jade muttered. They ate breakfast, though Jade barely tasted the pancakes. Her entire body was humming with anticipation and nerves. Willie kept looking at her with such heat and tenderness combined that she thought she might spontaneously combust before they even made it to the bedroom. After breakfast, Willie insisted on cleaning up, which gave Jade time to panic quietly. She excused herself to the bathroom and stared at her reflection. You can do this, she told herself. It's just sex. People have sex all the time. It's a normal human activity that you have inexplicably avoided for 20 years, but that's fine. Everyone goes at their own pace, and your pace just happens to be extremely slow until suddenly it's extremely fast, and oh god, you're going to have sex with Willie. She splashed cold water on her face, took several deep breaths, reminded herself that Willie cared about her, that he'd be gentle, that this was what she wanted. When she emerged from the bathroom, Willie was waiting on the couch. He'd cleaned the kitchen, tidied the living room, and now he sat there looking unfairly attractive in jeans and a t-shirt. Come here, he said softly, extending his hand. Jade crossed to him on shaking legs and took his hand. He pulled her down onto his lap, arranging her so she straddled him, and the sudden intimacy of the position made her breath catch. We go at your pace, Willie said, his hand settling on her waist. You tell me what you want, what feels good, what is too much. This is for you, Jade, to make you feel good. That is all I care about. What about what you want? Jade asked. What I want is you, Willie said. However, I can have you. If that is only kissing, I am happy. If that is more, I am happy. There is no pressure, no expectation, only what feels right. Jade leaned in and kissed him, pouring all her nervousness and anticipation and want into it. Willie responded immediately, one hand sliding up to tangle in her wild hair, the other tightening on her waist. The kiss deepened, turned heated, and Jade felt herself melting against him. Willie's hands started to explore, sliding under the hem of her sweater, his palms warm against her skin. Jade gasped at the contact, arching into his touch. Is this okay? Willie asked against her mouth. More than okay, Jade breathed. Don't stop. Willie's hands mapped her back, her sides, the curve of her waist. Every touch was gentle but purposeful, learning her body through her responses. When his fingers brushed the band of her bra, he paused. Can I take this off? He asked, tugging at her sweater. Jade nodded, not trusting her voice. Willie carefully pulled the sweater up and over her head, and suddenly she was sitting on his lap in just her jeans and her nicest bra. The purple lace one that matched the underwear no one was supposed to see, but that she'd worn anyway, because some part of her had known exactly where this day was heading. Willie's eyes went wide. Jade, you are so beautiful. It's just a bra, Jade said, self-consciousness creeping in. It is not just a bra. It is you, trusting me enough to remove clothing. You, choosing to be vulnerable. That is beautiful. Everything about you is beautiful. He leaned in and pressed kisses to her collarbone, her shoulder, the soft skin above the lace of her bra. Jade's head fell back, small sounds escaping her that she couldn't control. Willie's hands continued their exploration and when they slid up to cup her breast through the lace, Jade moaned. "Is this good?" Willie asked. "So good," Jade managed. "Really, really good." Willie's thumbs brushed over her nipples through the fabric, and Jade actually whimpered. She'd touched herself before, of course, but having someone else's hands on her was completely different. The sensation was magnified, electric, almost overwhelming. "Can I remove this?" Willie asked, his fingers finding the clasp of her bra. "Yes, please, yes." Willie unclasped her bra with surprising skill and slid it off her arms. For a moment, Jade was frozen with self-consciousness, sitting topless on his lap, completely exposed. But then she saw Willie's face, the awe there, the hunger, the genuine appreciation. "Perfect," he breathed. "You are absolutely perfect." Then his mouth was on her, and Jade discovered that kissing was very different from what Willie was doing with his lips and tongue on her breasts. She clung to his shoulders, gasping and moaning as he lavished attention on her sensitive skin. "Willie," she gasped. "Oh God, Willie." "Tell me what you need," Willie said, looking up at her with eyes that were nearly black with desire. "I don't know. More everything. I need you." Willie stood up, holding her easily, and Jade wrapped her legs around his waist. He carried her to the bedroom, kissing her the whole way, and laid her gently on the bed. "We go slow," he reminded her, kneeling beside the bed. "You tell me if anything is uncomfortable." "I will," Jade promised. "But Willie, I'm already very comfortable with you. I trust you completely." Willie's expression softened. "That is a gift. I will not waste it." He unbuttoned her jeans and slowly slid them down her legs, revealing the matching purple underwear. Willie made a sound low in his throat. "You wore these for me," he said, running his fingers along the lace edge. "Maybe. Possibly. I was hopeful." "I'm very grateful for your hope," Willie said, pressing a kiss to her inner thigh that made Jade's hips jerk. "You're wearing too many clothes," Jade blurted out. "This seems unfair." Willie smiled and stood up, pulling his shirt over his head in one smooth motion. Jade had seen his chest before in the show, but seeing it in person, in her bedroom, inches away from her, was entirely different. He was lean and toned, and there was a small scar on his ribs that she'd never noticed on screen. "What's that from?" she asked, reaching out to touch it. "The fight. Long ago. Before I chose to help the humans." Willie caught her hand and pressed it flat against his chest. "You can feel my heart. It beats very fast right now. Because of you." His heart was racing under her palm. The knowledge that she affected him as much as he affected her made Jade feel bolder. She sat up and pressed a kiss to his chest, right over his heart. Willie groaned and his hands tangled in her hair. "Jade, you are making it very difficult to go slow." "Maybe I don't want slow anymore," Jade said, surprising herself with her boldness. "Maybe I want you to touch me, really touch me." Willie's eyes burned. "Where do you want me to touch you?" Jade took his hand and slid it down her body, over her breast, across her stomach, to rest on the lace of her underwear. "Here. I want you to touch me here." Willie kissed her deeply as his hand slid beneath the lace, finding her hot and wet and ready for him. Jade cried out against his mouth as his fingers explored, learning what made her gasp, what made her moan, what made her hips buck seeking more. "You feel amazing," Willie murmured. "So wet. Is this all for me?" "All for you," Jade gasped. "Only for you." Willie's fingers found her most sensitive spot and circled it gently. Jade's entire body went taut, pleasure sparking through her like electricity. Is this good? Willie asked. Yes. God, yes. Don't stop. Willie continued his gentle exploration, adding pressure when Jade's responses told him to, easing off when she seemed overwhelmed. He was learning her body like he learned everything else, with patience and attention and genuine care for getting it right. When one finger slid inside her, Jade gasped at the intrusion. It felt strange and good and not enough all at once. Okay? Willie asked, freezing. Okay. More than okay. Keep going. Willie added a second finger, stretching her gently, and the sensation made Jade whimper. His thumb continued working her clit while his fingers moved inside her, and Jade felt pressure building low in her belly. Something was approaching. Something big. Something she'd only ever felt alone in the dark. Willie, I think I'm going to... Let go, Willie encouraged. I have you. You are safe. Let go. Jade shouted. The orgasm rolled through her in waves, making her cry out Willie's name, her body clenching around his fingers. Willie worked her through it gently, extending her pleasure, until she collapsed back on the bed, trembling and gasping. Oh my God, she breathed. That was... I've never... Not with someone else. Oh my God. Willie withdrew his hand carefully and pressed soft kisses to her face, her neck, her shoulder. You are beautiful when you come. I could watch that forever. I can't believe that just happened, Jade said, her voice shaking. That was so much better than doing it myself. Willie smiled. Good. That is how it should be. Better together than alone. Jade looked up at him, this impossible man who'd appeared in her living room 4 days ago and who'd just given her the most intense orgasm of her life. I want to make you feel good too. You do make me feel good, Willie said. Seeing you find pleasure makes me happy. No, I mean, I want to touch you. She glanced down at his jeans, where the evidence of his arousal was obvious. I want all of you. Willie's breath hitched. Jade, are you certain? We do not need to rush this. I'm certain, Jade said. I want my first time to be with you. I want this, please. Willie stood and removed his jeans and underwear in one motion, and Jade got her first real look at him. He was hard and ready, and her eyes went wide. That's supposed to fit inside me, she blurted out. Willie's laugh was slightly strained. It will fit. The human body is designed for this, but we will be very careful and very slow. Do you have protection? Jade asked, suddenly remembering that this was a thing people needed. I do not have your human diseases, Willie said. My biology is different, and I cannot make you pregnant. Our species are not compatible in that way. That's convenient, Jade said, also slightly disappointing. I don't know how to feel about that. Feel safe, Willie said, crawling over her on the bed. Feel cared for, feel desired, because I desire you very much, Jade, more than I have ever desired anyone. He kissed her deeply while his hands removed her underwear, and suddenly they were both completely naked together, skin against skin, heat against heat. Jade wrapped her arms around him, marveling at how good it felt to be held like this. I need to prepare you more, Willie said, his hand sliding between them again. I'm already prepared. You just made me come so hard I saw stars. Trust me, Willie said, and his fingers found her again, sliding inside easily now, working her gently until Jade was gasping and writhing beneath him. Please, she whimpered. Willie, please, I need you. Willie positioned himself between her legs, the tip of him pressing against her entrance. This may hurt at first. Tell me if it is too much. We can stop at any time. Don't stop, Jade said. Don't you dare stop. Willie pressed forward slowly, and Jade felt herself stretching to accommodate him. There was pressure, discomfort, a burning sensation that made her wince. "Breathe," Willie said, staying completely still. "Your body needs to adjust. Breathe and relax." Jade forced herself to breathe, to relax her muscles, and gradually the discomfort eased. Willie pressed forward another inch, and this time it felt better. Different, but better. "Okay?" he asked, his voice strained with the effort of holding still. "Okay. Keep going." Willie pushed forward in small increments, giving her time to adjust to each new sensation, until finally he was fully inside her. Jade felt overwhelmingly full, stretched, connected to him in the most intimate way possible. "You feel amazing," Willie gasped. "So tight, so perfect. Are you okay?" "I'm okay," Jade breathed. "Better than okay. You can move now." Willie started moving, slow, careful thrusts that made Jade gasp. The discomfort faded completely, replaced by pleasure, by the feeling of him inside her, moving with her, their bodies learning each other's rhythms. "Harder," Jade urged. "I won't break." Willie's thrusts became more confident, deeper, and Jade wrapped her legs around his waist to pull him closer. The new angle made both of them moan. "You're perfect," Willie gasped, his face buried in her neck. "So perfect. I cannot believe I get to have this. Have you?" "You have me," Jade said. "All of me. I'm yours, Willie." The words seemed to undo him. His thrusts became more urgent, more desperate, and Jade felt that pressure building in her belly again. Willie's hands slipped between them, finding her clit, and the combination of sensations was too much. Jade came with a cry, her whole body clenching around Willie. He followed immediately after, gasping her name, and Jade felt the pulse of his release inside her. They collapsed together, both breathing hard, both trembling. Willie carefully withdrew and pulled her against his chest, pressing kisses to her hair. "Are you okay?" he asked. "Did I hurt you?" "You didn't hurt me," Jade said. I don't have words. That was everything." "It was everything," Willie agreed. "You were perfect. So brave. So beautiful." Jade tilted her face up to look at him. "Thank you for being gentle, for making it good, for being exactly what I needed." "Always," Willie promised. "I will always try to be what you need." They lay together in comfortable silence, both processing what had just happened. Jade felt different somehow, not just physically, though there was definitely some soreness happening, but emotionally, like something fundamental had shifted in who she was. She wasn't just Jade who hid from the world anymore. She was Jade who'd taken a chance, who'd trusted someone, who'd been brave enough to reach for what she wanted. "I love you," she blurted out. Willie went still. "What?" "I love you," Jade repeated, more confident now. "I know it's fast, and probably too soon to say it, and you don't have to say it back, but I needed you to know. I love you. Not the character from the show. You. The real you, who makes coffee, and asks questions, and is patient with my weirdness, and just made my first time absolutely perfect." Willie's eyes were suspiciously bright. "I love you too, Jade. So very much. I did not want to say it too soon and frighten you, but I have loved you since you showed me the stars, since you trusted me enough to be vulnerable, since you chose to see me as real instead of just a fantasy." "So we're in love," Jade said, testing out the words. "After 4 days, that's completely insane." "Many of the best things are insane," Willie said, pulling her closer. They stayed in bed for the rest of the day, alternating between talking, dozing, and discovering each other's bodies in more detail. Willie proved to be an enthusiastic and attentive lover, and by the time evening rolled around, Jade had lost count of how many times she'd come. I'm going to be so sore tomorrow, she muttered, stretched out across Willie's chest. I will be gentle tomorrow, Willie promised. Who said anything about tomorrow? We're going again as soon as I can move my legs. Willie laughed, the sound rumbling through his chest. You are insatiable. I'm making up for 20 years of no sex, Jade said. I have a lot of catching up to do. I am happy to help with your catching up, Willie said, his hand sliding down her back. Good, because I'm planning to keep you very busy. Later, much later, they finally emerged from the bedroom in search of food. Willie insisted on cooking, and Jade sat on the counter in one of his t-shirts, watching him make pasta and talking about nothing and everything. I never thought this could be my life, Jade said softly. Being happy. Being with someone who actually wants me. Willie set down the spoon and moved to stand between her legs, his hands on her thighs. I want you, every part of you. Your wild hair and your messy apartment and your encyclopedic knowledge of science fiction. Your kindness and your insecurity and the way you snort when you laugh really hard. All of it. I want all of it. Even the parts that are too much? Jade asked. Especially those parts, Willie said, because they are the most you. Jade pulled him in for a kiss, but it turned heated quickly. They never did eat the pasta. They ended up back in bed, learning each other again, and Jade thought that maybe this was what happiness felt like. Not perfect, not without uncertainty about the future, but real and present and worth holding on to. She fell asleep in Willie's arms, her body sore and satisfied, her heart full for the first time in her life. Whatever came next, whatever challenges they'd face them together. And that was more than she'd ever dreamed possible.